What up, Pels fans? Pelbros here. Myself, James, and Ryan on the line.
That's me. The second half of the Pelbros. Let's do it.
Bringing you another video today about Derrick Favors. Want to give a lot of appreciation and love to him. His top 5 games for the 2019-2020 NBA season. Well, up to now, obviously with COVID happening. Let's just get right into it. Do you want to kick off with Game 5?
Yeah, bro. So number 5, man. Okay, so number 5 is a kind of like a low-hanging fruit here. The reason why we go for number 5, so this is actually the win against Minnesota. You might be thinking, who cares about this game about Minnesota? He only went 6 points, 11 rebounds. Like, why do I care? Well, I'll tell you why you should care, because, dude, pretty much this is the game Derrick Favors had come back to the New Orleans Pelicans, right, in which we had a franchise record of 13 of the lucky number 13 losses in a row. So that's like the franchise record, right? The thing is, though, for I think around 10 or so of those games, Derrick Favors was actually not present. He wasn't there, right? So this is obviously earlier on in the season. Why he wasn't there was because his mom had actually passed away. So, can't hate a player, right? Apart from that, though, he came back after that, and after dealing with his affairs, gave us, I think, like 3 or so games. But on the 4th game, we got everything kind of working out, and then bang, we got that win. We capped it at number 13. We didn't go any less or any more. We didn't go any more than that. So that's perfect. With that, the last thing I want to talk about with that is that why this is number 5. Is that it actually showed that how much of a solidified piece, I guess, Derrick Favors is to our team, right? Like how much of a glue he is to our offense, to our defense, etc., and why we need him. So that's why we got that at number 5, mate. What do you reckon about number 4?
Yeah, game number 4 was actually against the LA Clippers. So in this game, he put up 22 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists. And why we have this at number 4 is, unfortunately, the team lost in this game. But Derrick Favors just showing his dominance, being able to match up against the Clippers really well, being able to beat out and dominate those smaller teams. Like, on their team, they've only got guys like Montrez playing center and Zubac. So definitely, this is a game where Favors is just going to dominate in the post, grabbing rebounds. And he scored 10 off 10 field goals, just showing that the Clippers are unable to match him. But that pretty much sums it up. Do you have any comments on that, or we can jump into number 3?
We can't talk about number 3 without talking about number 4, and like vice versa. The whole reason why number 4 and number 3 is like almost combined is because number 4, right, he actually went 22 and 11, right? So he went 22 points, 11 rebounds. And the game just before that, which is number 3 versus Utah, he went 21 points and 11 rebounds. So he gave us back-to-back 2010 games. So that's quite an achievement. But let's talk about number 3 here. So number 3, man, this is obviously against his former team. He's the rivals, right? What's it called, versus Utah. And here at Pelbros, here just in general, all Pelicans people, I think we do not like the Utah Jazz at all. So getting this dub was, really fucking sweet revenge, especially for him. I mean, I don't think there's any bad blood between him and Rudy Gobert or the Utah franchise, but I think it's always going to be a good thing. Like, D. Faves was the understudy of Rudy Gobert for maybe 4 or 5 seasons or so, right? And then after that, he's come out, gone into the Pels, and takes a dub from them, man.
Yeah, definitely a great game, like you mentioned, going up against his old team, so it must have been pretty sweet for him. But just showing that he can just dominate on both sides and be that kind of, like you mentioned in the past, glue guy for the Pelicans. So active on both offense and defense, being able to kind of be that big body that we need in the paint for both defense, especially against guys like Rudy Gobert, who we've struggled to play against in the past. But this game, the Jazz just kept trying to trap BI and trap Drew, and the guards. So that just gave Favors plenty of time to shine, rolling on screens and just absolutely dominating all over the place. Shot 83% field goal. He couldn't be stopped, and definitely helped us get the win with a few clutch blocks in both the 4th quarter and down the stretch in OT. So massive win.
Yeah, and last note I want to add too about this game, because we're talking about this game. This is the same game in which BI had a career freaking game, I think 49 points, and he got the quote-unquote game winner. However, because of some BS, referee calls, we actually ended up going into overtime. Like I said, this is why we hate the Utah Jazz. So, but apart from that, the very last thing I want to touch on is that Rudy Gobert actually ended up getting fouled out in overtime, and Rudy Gobert, he ended up going 17 points and 14 rebounds, 4 assists. So he actually ended up going all right, but we got the dub. So there's that. Yeah, bro. Shall we go to the next?
Definitely a great win for us. The next game, ranked number 2 for the top 5 games for Derrick Favors this season, is against the Nuggets. So this was the game around December, I think it was around Christmas time of 2019, where
It's a Christmas miracle.
D Favors put up 8 points, 13 rebounds, on 1 steal and 3 blocks. And so while his stat line doesn't look too flashy or too great, it's definitely the 1%ers that shine from this game. Massive props to him for playing great defense on Jokic as well as Mason Plumlee, and just being able to play great help defense and contesting every single shot is exactly what we kind of need on the Pelicans. We've traditionally struggled to go up against teams like the Nuggets, teams like the Jazz, when they have quite dominant centers. But Derrick Favors just brought us everything that we needed in this game, setting up some great screens. And so, like I said, while his stat line doesn't look too great, it's definitely the 1%ers that helped us get a massive W over the Denver Nuggets. Do you have any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, man. I think talking about you say it's not that great, it's kind of like glass half empty, glass half full. Like, I see it as freaking amazing, bro. I think in terms of the assist numbers, he had 8 assists against Jokic, who is obviously without a doubt one of, if not the best, passing big men in the league, right? Jokic actually only ended up getting 4 assists, and D Favors had 8 assists. So what's going on, right? And on top of that, we got the dub here. So the thing is, though, Jokic had a decent game. He went 23 points and 10 rebounds. But apart from that, we're looking at the actual assist, in which, D Favors absolutely killed it. So all I can say about that is that, bro, it was a Christmas miracle. What can I say?
Yeah, definitely. And Jokic only managed to shoot 8 from 20, which isn't his usual self. So definitely a huge game for Favors. Should we just kick it into the ranked number 1, the top played game or the best game from Derrick Favors for this season?
I guess we should, bro. But I want a bit. Should we get a bit more like G up here? Like, what's gonna be? What could it be? Do you know?
So there's the very first game against the Clippers this season, where Derrick Favors put up a monster stat line, probably one of the best games of his career. 20 points.
I'm saying it's the best, bro. I'm saying it's the best game of his career, of his life, bro. But continue. So far, at least.
20 points, 20 rebounds, 3 assists, shooting 9 from 13 from the field for almost 70%. A game high, plus 13, plus minus as well. So just absolutely dominant on both sides of the field. Like I mentioned earlier, he just matches up well against the Clippers because they play a kind of a small ball lineup. But yeah, I mean, Drew put up 36 that game, but honestly, I think the MVP for this game goes to Derrick Favors.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you have any thoughts on this one?
Oh man, yeah. I guess the main kind of thing. Okay, well, first up, before I get into the real shit, before I get into that, the main thing here, right, is that this is like a Clippers without Kawhi, right? But it's not Paul George and shit. So the thing is, though, going into this game, neither of these Pelbros here, right, me or James or anyone else in the Pelicans fan base, to be honest, was expecting that we would even be competing in this game, more or less win this game, right? So the fact that we actually got the dub, the fact that D-Phase was, gave us 2020 to pretty much carry us for that dub, that's freaking amazing in itself. That's why it's the number 1. It's a pretty obvious choice, but here is the real shit that I want to talk about. And this is actually something that I only found out recently, and I was like, oh shit. Pretty much this game in which he absolutely killed it, this was actually the very, very last game in which his mom had watched him play before she had passed away. So that's some deep shit, bro. So I think that was probably a phenomenal kind of performance to actually, I guess, end that note, right?
Yeah, definitely. Just crazy situation. And we were kind of even shocked that even it was the case, but it goes to show that he just poured his heart out into that game and just showed up with everything he had.
Yeah, bro. It's kind of like, maybe it's a sign, when good things happen, then bad things happen. So, anyways, bro, apart from that, yeah, defense has just been amazing for us this season. Whether or not we'll keep him around or whether it makes sense to keep him around, will he go back to Utah Jazz? Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, definitely. If you have there's a lot more games that we could have actually featured in this video, but obviously we only had 5. He's been huge for us. There's been a lot of games where he's just given us the 1%ers. So hopefully he just gives us more games for the rest of the season that are just giving us monster stat lines. But wrapping that up, definitely like or subscribe if this is the kind of content that you like. Let us know your thoughts and feedback. Follow us on Instagram at Pelbros. Did you have anything else to, Ryan?
Only thing is that, yeah, if, like, we're definitely going to be posting out some more Derrick Favors shit, so holler at us, hit us up. Yeah, Pelbros signing out.
Thanks for watching. Peace.
Later.